Hi everyone,
Ooh.
and welcome to the second of these Eigenharp seminars for the Eigenharp Alpha. Hi Dave.
Hello, hello, hello.
This is Dave and I'm Aaron, and we are coming to you live tonight from Eigenlab's offices in Covent Garden, London. And we hope you're all well on this Friday evening. So tonight we are going to be looking at creating your own key layouts. Dave's going to give a kind of 20-minute seminar on that. You'll be able to put your questions to Dave over the chat room on the Justin TV. So if you do have any questions relating to what Dave's talking about, do put them in the chat room, and I will try and put as many of them to him as possible. If you do have other questions which aren't really related to tonight's topic, do save them, and we'll have a bit of a Q&A session at the end of the seminar where we will cover all the other questions that you want answered. The other thing is really, if we're going too fast, or you can't hear, or you want something gone over in a bit more detail, do also put that in the chat, and I'll try and get Dave to go over it again. And that will be good. So tonight we also have some diagrams for you, which are downloadable from, I've just put a link in the chat room, so if you want to have a look at those, Dave will probably be referring to those quite a lot throughout the seminar. And that's about it. So I think we're ready to go. Right. So over to you, Dave.
Cool. All right. Hiya. So today we're going to talk about creating your own layouts for the keys. Anybody who's used the Alpha or Tau or Pico will know that it's not a set in stone thing on the Alpha. So you haven't. This key isn't always E, or this key isn't always G. You can change the scale. You can change the key of the notes. You can do all kinds of things. The scales are quite a common thing. It's one of the first things you learn to do on the Alpha, to switch between like a major scale, minor scale, chromatic, or there's over 80 scales built in that you can choose from. Pardon me. But there's much more you can do to customize this. There's a lot of, basically I don't think we've left anything out in terms of things. If you can imagine some way of laying out notes on these keys, it's probably possible using Eigenharp. First thing I'm going to talk about is courses. So on the Alpha and Tau, less so on the Pico, there's this concept of courses, and a course is like a group of keys within a key group. A key group is a set of keys that you play one instrument on. So on the Alpha setup, on split 1 at the top, this is key group 1, it covers the whole keyboard. Split 2, you have key groups 2 and 3, split 3, you have key groups 4 and 5, etc. I'm going to be working with key group 1 on split 1 on the Alpha. I'm going to do a little bit on the Tau at the end. I've got something to show you on that. Okay, so courses. What is a course? A course is a group of keys within a key group. In the default setups on the Alpha, each vertical column of keys like this is one course. So this is course 1, this is course 2, course 3, course 4 and course 5. So you have 5 courses, one for each vertical column of keys. And each course is tuned a certain interval above the course before. So what I mean by that is course 2, for example, is tuned in the default setup 4 scale steps above course 1. So if I start here on course 1, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So this note here is 4 scale steps above this note here. I'm in the chromatic scale, so that means it's 4 semitones. And again, course 3 is tuned 4 scale steps above course 2. 4 scale steps. So in chromatic, I've got a major third between each course. This changes depending on what scale you're in. So if I switch it to a major scale, now it's still 4 scale steps, but because the C major is C, D, E, F, it's no longer a major third, it's actually a fifth. So if we have I put it in a major? Oh no, I haven't. Let me do it in a minor scale. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so it's no longer a major third because scale steps, so I can always use 4 fingers to go between each course. Cool. So the first thing I want to show you how to do is change the interval between these courses. So it doesn't always have to be 4 scale steps. We can make it any number of scale steps. One common use for this is to tune it. If you're a guitarist, you might want to tune it like 5 of the strings in a guitar. So I'm going to show you that today. It's quite a nice straightforward one to do. So we need to put it in a chromatic scale. So I've used my scale controls, put it in chromatic. Okay, and I'm going to make this my A string, if it was a guitar, D string, G string, B string, and E string. So I'm going to start from the second string, A, D, G, B, E. Next thing we need to do is load the Eigencommander. If you haven't used this before, there's 2 ways of getting this, depending on which version of the software you're using. If you're using the new testing releases, you go to Eigen D, and there's a Tools menu at the top. Click on Tools, and then click on Run Eigencommander. If you're using the stable releases, anything like 1.0.14 or earlier, you go to where it says Running in the top right corner of your screen, the Eigen D menu, and just click on Commander. So next week we're going to have screen sharing, so you're going to be able to see what's going on. But for now, as I type commands, Aaron's going to copy them into the chat window so you can see them. Okay, so you get the Eigencommander up. You'll be presented with a grey window. It's got 3 panes in it. One at the top is your lexicon, so this is a list of all the possible words that you can use while typing bel canto commands. And then at the bottom, it's divided in 2. On the left, this is where you input your commands. Like bel canto commands can control any aspect of Eigen D, so the entire setup can be configured using this language bel canto. And then on the right, it's a feedback pane. So if your command is accepted, it will say OK. If it's not, if you type something, misspell something, for example, it will come up in red and give you an error message, try and let you know what's wrong. OK, so before I go ahead, I'm going to need to explain this every week in case you didn't catch the week before, but I'm just going to quickly explain. In Eigen D world, we have this concept of conversations. So within an Eigen D setup, by setup I mean when you choose a new setup to load from the menu, like Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, each setup consists of many different pieces of software running simultaneously. So we've got things like the recorders, the key groups, the audio units, the samplers, the mixer, the audio output, the MIDI inputs. Everything is a little independent piece of software which we call an agent. And these all run simultaneously, and they've all got a different name. And when we type bel canto commands, we have to specify which agent we're going to be talking to. So in this case, I'm dealing with key group 1. So this is key group 1. It's the key group that's on split 1 that covers the whole keyboard. Same with the towel. The split 1 on the towel, key group 1 is the first key group that covers the entire keyboard. So I'm going to be dealing with key group 1. So the first thing I need to write into the Eigencommander is K group. It's actually K group, not key group, so K-G-R-O-U-P. K group 1, listen. Okay, type that in the bottom left pane of the Eigencommander and hit enter. Hopefully in the bottom right it will say K group 1, listen, OK, to say it's been accepted. And now everything I type from now on, the only thing that will listen to me and the only thing that will respond is key group 1. There's lots of commands that I could type that are shared by many different agents, so we have to specify who we're talking to before we say anything. Okay, so K group 1, listen. And as I said, we've got course 1, course 2, course 3, course 4, and course 5. First thing I need to do is, so this is going to be my A string, this is going to be my D string. First thing I need to do then is tell it that I want course 2 to be tuned 5 semitones above course 1, or a perfect fourth above. So I say K group 1, listen, which we've already said, and then we say course 2, offset to 5 interval set. So now we've got a perfect fourth. So this could be my A string, this could be my D string. Next one, course 3, we want to tune again a fourth above course 2, which is 5 semitones. So we've got C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, that's a fourth. So we say course 3 offset to 5 interval set again. think Aaron's putting all this in the chat window as we go. Okay, so we've got course 1. This is now course 2 is 5 semitones above. Course 3 is 5 semitones above. So we've got. And then the next one, course 4. This is the B string. So it's actually only 4 semitones, or a major third above the G string. So we say course 4 offset to 4 interval set. Excuse me while I type this in. Course 4 offset to 4 interval sets. So we've got a major third between these ones now. So you've got A, D, G, B, and then last one, course 5 will be the E. So again, that's 5 semitones above course 4. So last thing you type is course 5 interval offset, course 5 offset to 5 interval set. So there we go. I can't play the guitar, so I can't really give you any examples of how to play that, but that is guitar tuning.
Yes, a question from DHJDH, on and on.
Yeah.
Where is it implied that offset means offset relative to the previous course? Is that always true?
Yeah, that's always true.
David. Sorry, hi David.
Oh yeah, no, that's always true. So all the courses are always tuned a certain interval above the one before. So course 1 is always set by when you choose your tonic and your scale. So if you choose a tonic of C, the first note of course 1 is always going to be a C. And then course 2, its offset is always relative to course 1. So it's always a certain interval above the course before.